Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be exploring the new Citizen Kane and his latest album, The Tales of Morpheus. Now, he's a really interesting
Yeah,
artist.
he really is, yeah.
He's definitely been on quite a journey, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. London, Milan, working under all these different names before he finally lands on this new Citizen Kane persona. It's quite a story.
Yeah. And it's not just the name, right? He's really created this whole world around his music,
Totally.
you know, like blending and fashion, visual art, and of course the sound, which is just incredible. It seems to draw from so many different places.
Yeah, he's got a really wide range of influences, that's for sure.
So tell me, what's the story behind the Tales of Morpheus? Because from what I've heard, it seems like a bit of a departure from his earlier stuff.
Well, you're right about that. This album, it came out of a pretty intense period for him personally. I mean, he's talked about struggling with anxiety, going through this big self-discovery phase and all that. And honestly, you can really hear that in the music.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's raw, it's personal, almost like he's giving us a peek into his diary, but through sound.
Interesting. I actually read somewhere that he recorded the whole thing in his spare bedroom,
That's right. Yep.
which is pretty amazing to think about. I mean, with home studios these days, you can really do so much.
Oh, for sure. The technology's come a long way.
But I'm curious, do you think that DIY approach, recording at home and all that, did it affect the sound of the album at all?
I think it definitely gives it a certain intimacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's unfiltered, straight from the source. And he doesn't shy away from some pretty heavy themes either. We're talking self-discovery, toxic relationships,
Yeah.
even this search for transcendent love. He's really laying it all out there.
Wow. And musically speaking, it's all over the place too, right?
Yeah, it's pretty eclectic.
I mean, we've got electronic music, indie pop, new wave, even touches of jazz and bossa nova. It's wild.
Right. It's like a musical reflection of his own journey.
It really is. Speaking of which, have you had a chance to listen to Morpheus in the Club?
Oh, yeah.
It's the opener, and I swear it just grabs you from the first beat.
That beat is something else, isn't it?
It's hypnotic, almost otherworldly. What do you think it is about the production that gives it that vibe?
Well, there are a lot of elements at play. You've got those ethereal pads layered over the beat. Then you've got these sparkling electronic accents that add this really cool texture.
Hmm.
And of course, you can't forget the vocals. The interplay between the male and female voices is really captivating.
Totally. I love the contrast between his voice, which is so strong and present, and hers, which is airy and almost ethereal.
Yeah, they complement each other perfectly.
They do. They create this surreal, dreamlike atmosphere, and the way it all comes together, it's so seamless.
Right.
It's complex, but it never feels overwhelming.
Exactly. It's like he really put a lot of thought into how each layer would interact with the others. To me, that's what makes the production so impressive.
For sure. So we've got this dreamy, atmospheric opener, and then bam, killer charisma comes right after, and it's a total energy shift.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of that track?
Oh, it's bold, it's stylish, and there's even this little hint of funk in the rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
It's impossible not to move to.
You can't help but dance. I also love how he uses his vocals in this one.
Yeah.
There's this smooth, almost mysterious quality to it, which adds to the cool vibe.
It's like he's embodying a character, someone with this undeniable magnetism. And I think there's even some social commentary embedded in the lyrics. He's exploring themes of power and influence, which is pretty interesting.
It is interesting, and the fact that he can address those kinds of themes in a song that's also super danceable,
Right.
it makes you think while you're moving, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
Now, Stupid Blue, the fifth track, this one felt like a big shift in mood. What were your initial thoughts when you first heard this one?
Well, right away, you notice the difference. It's more contemplative, much more emotionally raw compared to the previous tracks. The instrumentation is stripped back. You've got these soft guitar melodies, a steady kick drum, just subtle electronic touches creating this atmosphere. And the focus is really on the vocals and the lyrics.
It's definitely the most vulnerable track on the album. You can feel the heartache, the struggle in his voice,
You can hear it.
but there's also this sense of peace, like he's finding a way to work through it. How would you describe the sound of Stupid Blue?
It's got this bluesy, almost trip-hop vibe to it. It's haunting, ethereal. He's exploring the complexities of a toxic relationship, the pain, the confusion, but also this possibility of healing, of moving on.
Yeah, it's a really powerful track. Yeah, let's jump ahead a bit to track 19, Alchemy. This one stood out to me because it feels like such a unique blend of genres. What did you think of it?
Oh, Alchemy is definitely a standout. It's got this expansive soundscape created by these warm analog synths and these ethereal vocal harmonies that just pull you in.
Yes. And there's this deep bass line pulsing underneath, almost like a heartbeat grounding the track amidst all those swirling textures. It's like he's created a whole world within this one song. What about the vocals on this one? What stood out to you?
Well, they're gentle, understated, but still so powerful. It's like he's weaving a story through the music and the lyrics, a story about transformation and connection.
That ties in so well with the themes of self-discovery that we've been talking about throughout this whole album. It's like alchemy is this culmination of that journey. What did you think of the production on this track?
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's rich, it's layered, but also very restrained. Everything has its place, and the way the elements interact, it creates this incredible sense of motion and depth. You're floating on this wave of sound, and the melodies just wash over you.
It's beautifully produced, and the way it ends with that lingering sense of transcendence, it's really special. It really is. We've talked a lot about specific tracks, but stepping back a bit, what are your overall impressions of the Tales of Morpheus as a complete work?
You know, it's remarkable how cohesive it is,
Yeah.
especially when you consider how diverse the influences are. I mean, you've got your electronic music, your indie pop, new wave, even jazz, and a touch of bossa nova.
Yeah, it's all over the place, but somehow it works.
Exactly. He blends it all into something that feels totally unique and personal.
Yeah, and the production quality is top-notch throughout. You could tell he put a lot of care into every single detail, from those deep bass lines and shimmering synths to those intricate percussion arrangements.
Oh, absolutely. The attention to detail is incredible.
It's that level of attention to detail that makes the album such an immersive experience. It's like
Yeah.
he's painting with sound, creating these sonic landscapes that are both hypnotic and emotionally resonant.
You got it. And the way he shifts between those pulsating club tracks and the more ethereal, atmospheric moments, it's so effortless.
It really is. It's that ability to surprise you that keeps the album so engaging. You never quite know what's coming next. And I think that unpredictability kind of reflects his own journey as an artist. He's clearly not afraid to take risks, experiment with different sounds and styles.
Absolutely. He's not trying to fit into any predefined genre. He's creating something entirely his own.
Exactly. And in doing so, I think he's creating space for us, the listeners, to explore our own creative potential.
I agree.
It's inspiring to see an artist so fully embrace their individuality and express it through their music.
It's a good reminder that there are no limits to what we can achieve when we stay true to ourselves and let our creativity flourish. And, the Tales of Morpheus, it's a beautiful example of what's possible when we push those boundaries and create something truly unique.
It's definitely an album that stays with you long after the last note fades. And I think that's the mark of truly great art, isn't it?
For sure.
It moves you, it challenges you, it ultimately changes you in some way. You see the Tales of Morpheus lives up to that standard?
It does. It really does. For me, it's more than just a collection of songs.
What is it?
It's an experience, a journey that takes you to unexpected places.
I like that, a journey. It makes you think about things differently.
Exactly. It's a sonic journey that encourages us to look inward, confront those complexities within ourselves, and embrace the full spectrum of human experience.
And that's what makes the new Citizen Kane such a compelling artist, wouldn't you say? I mean, he's not just making music. He's creating a world, an invitation to step inside and see things from a new perspective.
And he does it with such intentionality. From the visual elements he incorporates to the music itself, everything feels carefully considered and crafted to create this fully immersive experience.
It's like stepping into a dream, a
That-
space where anything is possible, where we're free to explore those hidden parts of ourselves. That's what art is all about, right?
Yeah.
To transport us, to make us feel deeply, to challenge our perceptions, to expand our understanding of the world.
Absolutely. And the new Citizen Kane, he achieves that beautifully with the Tales of Morpheus.
He does.
It's an album that stays with you. It leaves you with a sense of wonder and a renewed appreciation for the power of creative expression.
It's a must-listen for anyone who appreciates music that pushes boundaries, that challenges conventions. And, of course, a huge thank you to Dulaxi for sponsoring this deep dive. We wouldn't be here without your support.
Absolutely. Make sure you check out the new Citizen Kane's The Tales of Morpheus. And let us know what you think.
Yeah, it's an experience you won't soon forget.
Oh, it totally does. It really does. I think, for me, it's more than just a collection of songs. It's an experience, a journey.
It is. It is. It takes you to these unexpected places, like you said, a journey.
Right.
It really does make you think about things in a different way.
Exactly. It's the sonic journey that encourages us to kind of look inward, to confront all those, complexities we all have inside, and just embrace, like, the full spectrum of being human.
And I think that's really what makes the new Citizen Kane such a compelling artist. He's not just, making music. He's creating this whole world. It's like an invitation to step inside and just see things from a different perspective.
Yeah, and he does it so intentionally. From the visual elements he uses to the music itself, everything's so carefully considered, crafted. It's like he wants to create this fully immersive experience for us, for the listener.
It is immersive. It
Yeah.
really is like stepping into a dream, this space where anything feels possible. And we're free to explore, all those hidden parts of ourselves. That's what art is all about, right? To
Absolutely.
transport us, to make us feel things deeply, to challenge our perceptions, and ultimately expand our understanding of the world around us.
Totally. And the new Citizen Kane, he nails that with the Tales of Morpheus.
He does.
It's the kind of album that sticks with you, leaves you with this sense of wonder, like a renewed appreciation for the power of just expressing yourself creatively.
It's a must listen, especially if you appreciate music that pushes boundaries, challenges conventions. And of course, huge thanks to Dulaxi for sponsoring this deep dive. We couldn't do it without you.
Absolutely. Definitely check out the new Citizen Kane's The Tales of Morpheus and let us know what you think.
It's an experience you won't soon forget.